if you've been watching my recent videos, you'll know all I've done is bitch and moan about how shit esports is, because esports is really, really shit, and it's built in a way that it's built for failure. It's not built to win. American arseholes with too much money, too big egos, taking people's goodwill investments, pissing them up against the wall, and then complaining that everyone else is to blame except them. That's pretty much esports in a nutshell. That's what we've built. That's, in 20 years, that's what we've managed for ourselves. Because people don't say no to the cash, and we enable idiots on a regular basis. So, could we be seeing a paradigm shift? Yeah, possibly. Let me highlight a few interesting things. I haven't talked about it lots on the channel before, because I despise the Rocket League scene and want it to just cease to exist in the same way the FGC and the Overwatch League can cease to exist for me. And I think esports be a much better place for it. And in the case of the FGC, be a much safer space for children as well, wouldn't it? But, you know, what I will say is Moist Critical, as many know him, as Critical Penguin Zero, Penguin Z0 or something on YouTube was the channel. I've followed him for so long, I can't even remember. He created Moist Esports, funded a Rocket League team, and they did really, really well. And not only did they do really, really well, they actually took a moral stand on things that other traditional esports orgs wouldn't, because Critical said, I won't ever force my players to do anything they don't want to do. Just to show you this, there was a Saudi esports tournament. There's another one coming this year in Riyadh, another Gamers 8. It's got $30 million of prizes being distributed. Rocket League and Dota 2 are two of the confirmed games there. So we'll see who the little shills are this time. I wonder if Team Liquid will be taking another one of their famous bold stands. Probably not. But here you go. This is Moist Critical's esports org. They refused their invite to the $2 million Saudi esports tournament. And you can see here, he founded Moist Esports in 2021, and they quickly grew, got teams in Guilty Gear, Rocket League, Smash Brothers, Melee, and Ultimate. And the Rocket League team actually went on to win the League Championship Series Spring Split Major. So they won a major in July. So this is an interesting paradigm shift in and of itself, because you are told by esports experts, all these North American org owners, you are told only they can build winning teams. Only they know the secret sauce of what to do. One of the things they all tell investors, by the way, is like, oh, you know, we've got some good prospects and we're doing this, we're doing that. They love talking about that shit. Like, they all think they're playing Moneyball, when in reality all they're doing is fucking, you know, they're playing Moneyfall. You know, like they're fucking just throwing money away on and giving players everything they want, because they don't want to take the risk of having a weaker team or a team that takes longer to develop than their rivals. They want the success, they want the trophies, and they think if they get those things, they'll be able to corner the market on all the sponsors and become the big hog, the big dick in the pool. That's what they want. Founding an organization in 2021, and by winning a major in 2022 in Rocket League, what Critical has done is shown that even with a surface level understanding of esports and a surface level interest in the particular scene, just by going out there, doing his homework, interacting with players and listening to reciprocal community feedback, he can get a team that can win a tournament. And he's done it with his own money. So that should tell you immediately that the so-called esports experts, a lot of them are full of shit, because you know, I could name you a number of orgs down the years who spent and tinkered and always looking to make these big moves and have won fuck all, and have just wasted money, made fools of themselves in the process. You know, someone like Critical can come along just with his influencer money, obviously very wealthy, you know, just in terms of like apples and apples comparison to like a regular YouTuber, a regular person. He's an elite tier influencer and content creator, but he's got the money now to throw into a team, and he can make it work. He's not getting finessed, and he's done it himself. You'll understand, he didn't come in as a manager for an established organization, like happens sometimes when they will bring you in as an ambassador, or you can travel with the team, or no, he created his own org and built a winning team. It's a hell of a story. right? No two ways about it. It was the type of thing that I thought was going to happen more when I saw players retiring from CS. And, you know, like, I thought they were, and it should have happened, really, but players, they like the security of a salary. They're very short-sighted. And so what should have happened was, you know, like, Shox is creating his own thing now, like, you know, whatever it's called, that weeb name they've chose for themselves. But he could have made that org 5 years ago, and who knows where they would be, and who knows what sponsors they'd have. But they never did. And so it also breaks the paradigm, because if you're independently funded and not beholden to sponsors, and therefore not beholden to clicks engagements, if you don't sign up to a bunch of dog shit franchise leagues where they make your team play, even if your team's on its last legs, like with Astralis, no, you must go to the shit blast tournament because we're a franchise partner and we give them value as well. You can just say no to a tournament. And so while the rest of the esports world is bowing and scraping to these disgusting entities, Moist Esports says, nah, we're not going to Riyadh, mate. We're not competing there. I don't give a fuck if it's 2 million. It's only prize money. Who cares? And so, what a wonderful paradigm shift that is. It's exciting. I'd like to see more of this. And what's interesting now is, it was announced Ludwig, another huge, massive influencer. I remember him from his ridiculous streak of streaming, like IRL stream that he did, where it was like the fucking Truman Show. Don't know too much about him beyond that, but he also does seem to be in esports. Well, he's announced he's coming in, right? Like, he's gonna come into Moist, and so now you've got 2 influencers coming into already successful fledgling esports organization, and they aren't going to be beholden to the paradigm. Funny little story, by the way. One of the things that absolutely terrified the cartel in esports, and who was the cartel? I'm talking your Steve Artensets, your Reginalds, your Jack Etiennes. One of the things that terrified them, one of the reasons they all ganged up on Chris Padawi and lied about him poaching players and breaking rules that weren't even rules so they could get him out, they thought he was funded by Martin Shkreli initially, and he wasn't. He'd had talks with Martin Shkreli. I think Martin Shkreli had threw a little bit of chump change into the league because he could afford to. It was pre-prison, and he had an interest in the game. But that was it, right? And they got so frightened by him, they tried to take him out. It was like an economic hitman job. And then, of course, they did the same with Rick Fox. Rick Fox comes into the space. They're terrified. An established sports star who's also an actor, who's got loads of friends and is backed by a big investor. We're frightened by this. This could economically outmuscle what we've built for ourselves. So the cartel fucked him over, right? And so what's interesting is I will love to see what the cartels, the old boys club, dare I say it, I can't wait to see what they're going to do if more and more influencers start building esports organizations, because it's their nightmare. They'll have all of the benefits of not being beholden to anything, might even be able to outspend them, and will be more desirable to the average esports fan, because the average esports fan is a pleb who doesn't really care about esports or high-level play or great content or sports-type content. They'd much rather cheer, Ludwig's my favourite streamer, I follow Moist now. It is a nightmare for the paradigm. Believe it. Anyway, I thought the announcement video was kind of cool. I'll play it.
Single esports organization is vastly overvalued because they're all subsidized by venture capitalist groups that are probably going to get fed up in 3 to 5 years when none of them are profitable, or crypto exchanges.
What the fuck, man?
Dude, where'd you get that?
Oh, this thing, I forgot I was holding it. Yeah, this is the Rocket League Spring Major Championship trophy where we took first place in front of a sold-out Copper Box arena in front of God and every sports fan on this planet. That's the Moist Esports way.
Obviously, I'm talking about what you're wearing.
Oh, you're talking about the CEO Championship belt where we took first place in the Smash Major back in October of 2021.
How do you keep doing
Left that out as well.
Oh,
One in Smash.
Yeah, hard work, perseverance, life, liberty, pursuit of dubs, the whole 9. Just champions over here.
Okay, I get it. Moist is super successful. You don't have any crypto sponsors, but don't you have to burn a lot of money to win that much?
Didn't Susan give you a lot of money to burn?
So you just burn the money like this?
Just like that. That's looking good.
This is fun.
It gets addicting, I'll tell you what.
I could get used to this.
And there you go. And you know what? What a perfect summary of the industry. You know, I'm not tapped in like influencer culture anymore. That stopped when I stopped doing this, when the Scuff podcast and the Austin Royale went away. I'm just now some boomer journalist speeding towards irrelevancy. But, you know, that is a perfect summation of what esports is, what it has become, how these orgs have operated. And I honestly think this type of trend represents a potential paradigm shift that will have a lot of traditional esports orgs very worried indeed. It's not like it's something happening in just at Moist. There was you know, Disguised Toast is another big influencer. He's the guy who used to play as a loaf of bread. He used to play Hearthstone as a loaf of bread, and people used to sit there going, "Go on, Nico, when are you going to play Counter-Strike?" And before they realised it was Disguised Toast. But, you know, he obviously blew up and became a huge influencer in and of his own right. And now he's gone out and bought a Valorant team. He picked up a Valorant team, and they've just qualified for challenges, and he's doing the content, and he's joking around and saying, "I don't have to fucking fire anyone," and it's great. And I'll just read it quickly. There it is, January 9th, Toast revealed the 5 players that would be representing Disguised, they're called, in the North. So you get that brand synergy as well. So people, if you like Disguised Toast, you can now cheer on his Valorant team. In the North American VCT Challengers qualifiers, which includes former 100 Thieves, and obviously our boy Steel over there as well. So, you know, these are not small names that are being picked up. And I'll have to check in with Josh. I haven't talked to him for a good while. I haven't talked to him in months, but I'd love to pick his brains about this and see what he thinks about it and why he himself decided to sort of take this risk, because it's a break from tradition. And yeah, I think, guys, you should cheer on Josh, absolutely. And it's great of Disguised Toast to give him an opportunity, right? But again, the paradigm shift. And this is where it gets a little bit spoopy and a little bit less neat, right? Because I know people are going to laugh and be skeptical about this, and I get it, but I think if it was to work and if it was legitimate, again, this could be a massive paradigm shift, especially if influencers start creating esports orgs and start running esports teams. Now, you all remember Trainwrecks. You remember Trainwrecks TV. I just talked about the Scuffed podcast and how we used to go on that, and it was fun a lot of the time, and I met some cool people, and other times it was an absolute fucking nightmare. And I don't know what Train does. We haven't talked for a while, not because we dislike each other or there's any like animus about the time racked with grief and wrecked with drugs I lost my mind on his podcast. You know, we've talked since then. It's all cool. It's just we sort of swim in different worlds right now. Now, also, every time I've looked over at Train's stream, he does seem to be doing slots a lot of the time, which isn't the type of content I would ever want to watch. Don't find it very interesting watching someone else gamble. It's not for me. It's obviously very popular. People like it, but it's not for me. And he doesn't do things like the Scuffed podcast or anything like that anymore. No, he's become mega wealthy as a result of this. You know, he's had huge losses, huge wins just on the gambling, but also he's being paid to play the slots as well, and making lots of money doing it, because he's still an immensely popular streamer and will still pull in 25,000 people watching him gamble, which is a hell of a draw, for a gambling sponsorship. So I get lots of people have some cynicism, if you like. They have some skepticism about his ability to be able to deliver on any big projects, but also remember, he's got the money to try now. And so he put out a Twitlonger, because people are still using them. I thought this was a really interesting, kind of idea he's coming up. He's talking about making his own stream platform. And they've already started. It was called Kick.com. And Kick.com, when it launched, people were like, I saw all the live stream fill threads. Everyone was mocking it and ridiculing it and saying it's just a rip-off of Twitch. And, it's going to be garbage, and it's going to crash and burn, and he's going to lose loads of money, and it's a cocaine-fueled pipe dream and all this other stuff, They were all the comments on live stream fill. But he says here, and it's hard not to disagree because I've heard this, and this is the biggest complaint about life as a Twitch streamer. The life of a Twitch streamer is working an impossible number of hours trying to find success. For all but the largest creators, and remember, I was number 1,811 overall in the earners on Twitch, which should tell you something, right? About just how concentrated it is compared to the sheer volume of streamers there are. For all but the largest creators, these hours go unrewarded. Twitch ignores small and mid-sized creators and gives their budget to a select small group of streamers via huge paid contracts. Now, they've obviously started scaling that back because they're becoming more and more driven by Amazon ideals rather than Twitch ideals, and so this means they want every streamer to be spamming ads. You're encouraged to do that. Every time you join my channel, you're getting ads. Now, if I watch a stream, it's a tournament, they might just inject ads into the middle of it if the tournament isn't hitting its deliverables. They're also cutting back on those contracts he's talking about, but obviously the biggest streamers still on the platform are getting, you know, they have existing contracts and are being paid. There's been a significant exodus of top streamers across the YouTube because YouTube is willing to pay them that money, but also you get a better share. You know, it's 70% of all earnings you keep. That was a sweetheart deal you had to negotiate for yourself at Twitch. Only the very best had that. So small to middle-sized creators have few paid opportunities on Twitch and are expected to get by on their unfair subscription revenue split and meager ad programs. And I've talked about this as well, right? So understand how a subscription works, right, for Twitch. Now, I encourage you to sub, but I also really push Twitch Primes. There's loads of rumors going out around right now that they're going to pull Twitch Prime. And if that happens, I just think everyone will leave the platform. I don't even know what I would do. I think I might like chance YouTube at that point because I've already got a 117,000 subscriber live channel and a 70% rev cut. You know, maybe it would offset. It might be rough for the first few months, but I'd give it a go probably at that point. But anyway, how it works is this. When you sub, you pay $4.99 and I get 50% and Amazon get 50%, or, you know, Twitch, let's say. But the difference is not all subs are worth that. So depending on where you're subbing from, because everyone thinks a sub is $2.50, right? But it's not, because if you're from like certain markets like Turkey or Brazil, your sub is less. It's adjusted to the market. So I'm only getting 50% of that. And then remember, when the money comes in to me, that is self-employed income. So Amazon just pocket the money off the top, but I'm taxed on mine because I'm not a big corporation and I can't dodge tax. So I then have to pay, and by the way, this is if you're not in America where they automatically take 30% out of it as withholding. If you're overseas, and you're in a country with a treaty with America, you don't pay the withholding tax. But then I've got to pay at a self-employed level of tax on that. And as I've said, once you get beyond a certain threshold of income, your self-employed tax rate is like 50%. So I get 50% of a sub, build that up over the year, and then pay 50% over that. And again, it's not as simplistic as that, because in Britain you have tax thresholds. You know, if you earn below a certain amount, you don't pay any, and blah 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 blah. But you know, the bottom line is, for somebody like myself who does it as a hobby and it's not my primary source of income, all of that money's getting taxed at 50% essentially. So even with a super duper really good accountant, there's just no getting away from it. The way around it is you create a corporation and you say the stream is you working for that corporate and all of this other stuff. But it's like, I don't know, you know, I'm from a world where I think you should pay your taxes as honestly as possible because they benefit people less fortunate than me. But equally, it's, you know, no one enjoys paying taxes, especially when you're getting rinsed in the first place. So it's not great. It's absolutely not a great deal on Twitch. That's just truthful. That's real talk. That's not like a super mega wealthy streamer saying that just to try and, you know, get more for themselves. That is a very accurate appraisal for what it's like, unless you are in the super duper elite levels of influencers on this particular platform. And so anyway, he continues. Today that changes. I've been working on a program that takes the budget of what would normally only be used to acquire the largest of creators and distributes it through a formula that generates an hourly income for all streamers. Today, I'm announcing the first steps of helping creators of all sizes succeed, the Kick.com Creator Program. Every creator, no matter your size, whether you have 1 viewer or 100,000, will be paid for the hours they stream. The Creator Program is a new program that has never been done by any streaming platform before. It will exist in addition to an ad program that's competitive with Twitch and YouTube. It will exist in addition to the subscriber button. That means as a creator on Kick, you get paid for ads when they're available. You'll get paid 95% of subscription revenue, 100% off on-site third-party donations, and on top of that, you get the Creator Program. Now, this has kind of been a bit of a holy grail in streaming platforms for a long time. One of the biggest complaints, and I've mocked this complaint. You probably remember it on stream. There was some popular cam girl, and I'm not using that in a derogatory term, like, I mean, literally, she was one of those who, hey, it's a fucking hot tub, and your top donation is my boyfriend for the day, and check out my OnlyFans, and if you pay $50, I'll give you like 2 minutes talking to me on a Discord, that type of content. And they complained about they had COVID, I think it was, and they got sick and they couldn't work, and they said being a Twitch streamer for a living sucks because when you're sick you make no money. And people like me, seeing a cheap laugh, went, yep, look at this. What's interesting now is, in the aftermath of that, Twitch actually did introduce something where you can earn a flat, it's not a salary, because you're still getting fucked on the tax and everything, but they pay you based on your stream and your traffic and your hours. They pay you a flat rate in it, like every month, on top of the other stuff. And all you have to do is make sure you hit the ads. So they'll say X amount of ads an hour, every hour you're streaming for the month. And if you do that, you get this amount. And I think that's a cool initiative. That will really work for some people. I don't like spamming ads. Sam tells me all the time, Rich, if you want to get your money up and, get your fucking funny up, homie. But if you want to get your money up on Twitch, no one's going to mourn if you, occasionally go make a cup of tea and run some ads like you used to. But this is like a conversational stream, and I don't like breaking up that flow. And I typically do it for 4 hours at a time. And if I'm interrupting it, but equally, I could run ads between every video. And also, I'll add, I think you sort of should run ads if you can, because you shouldn't just get this platform for free. And if Twitch needs it to stay alive, it's probably better for everyone. But anyway, the bottom line is, the holy grail is to be able to offer people a flat rate just for their labor to stream. And so you will always make something. One of the things that used to break my heart, right? Because I know a lot of streamers. I know a lot of aspiring streamers. I'm talking people who stream to 10, 20 people, sometimes 50. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than watching somebody like that stream for 8 hours out of their day and literally no subs, no donations. They've made nothing. And I've seen how people sometimes can tie up streaming with their self-worth and how negative and destructive that can be. And I've seen people reduce to tears. What am I doing? No one cares. No one gives a shit. No one's enjoying my content. I'm never going to make it. I suck. And it's not nice. It's not nice to see somebody kind of broken down by that. Now, look, there's a million other things you can do, and probably there's a little voice inside my head that's like, tough working class Richard saying, get a real job, you bum. But equally, those aren't the times in which we live. I understand why that might make you feel sad. Listen, it happens to me sometimes, I can't pretend I haven't got a little bit envious watching some of the other people. I used to do the core streams, didn't I? And now I'm being told I can't do the core streams because I don't say the right things. And I've watched other streamers who used to be way, way smaller than me, and they're getting, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, and it's like, well, and all they're doing is sat there watching the games I'm watching anyway, and sometimes you think to yourself, like, yeah, but equally, I got a different kind of community. I've seen, you know, it doesn't matter if you have 10,000 people watching your stream. I've got a really high engaged community, many of whom have been around for years, active on the Discord, active on the YouTube channel, active with all of my content. So, you know, I'm never going to complain. Like, it's quality over quantity, right? But I do get it for some people. And it would be a wonderful gesture even if you just made, you know, $20. $50, you know, just for streaming for those hours. It would mean a lot to so many smaller streamers. So Train's absolutely right in what he's saying. It's very astute. I'm sure he knows people like that. Because obviously he started out like that. He goes on to say, Kick.com could spend millions of dollars acquiring large streamers exclusively. And this is, you know, that's been the standard business model. Think Mixer. Right, you know, going out and getting Ninja and Shroud, spunking a bunch of money on them, and all that happened was they got the bag and they were back at Twitch. What, in like 18 months? Instead, we're choosing to invest in all creators. Alongside the creator program, Kick.com is partnering with advertisers to bring the website to profitability. Until then, we're going to invest the budget that would have only been used on large creators for the benefit of all creators. That is how we will fund the creator program until we further build out our advertising program. The creator program is simple. You get paid for each hour you stream. A formula will pay each streamer out based on the number of hours, a flat rate based on Kick's advertising CPMs, which will be budgeted by them until the advertisers come in, the average viewers you have, and viewer demographics and engagement. We'll have more details regarding the program in the near future. Payout options are your choice and can happen two ways. You can be paid via our payment processor at the end of each month, or you can get paid the same day after your stream ends in crypto, Bitcoin or Ethereum, which, by the way, I don't know why anyone would touch the crypto right now, but some people like that shit. Some people are still giving fucking crypto a fucking roll of the dice, so fine. You know, who am I to judge? Kick.com wants to make the creator program available to everyone, but we need to sort through potential exploiters, viewbot abusers, and fake accounts. For this reason, the initial creator program will have a manual approval application process. Everyone who has a verifiable brand and is operating their stream legally and above board is eligible for the creator program, regardless of viewership. Kick.com will release details on how to apply for the creator program in the near future. I'm looking forward to announcing more about the creator program soon. And he ends by saying, I have a vision that one day every streamer will get back exactly what they put in. I want the time gone where streamers spend thousands of hours working and never knowing if they will get a return. It will take time to get right, but this is the beginning. And, you know, this is an incredibly mature and well thought out statement from Train. And also, you know, it's a good idea. It makes sense. It's something that would not only work, it would be desirable. Now, there's probably some downsides. It's being funded by gambling money, almost certainly. I don't know anything about the company. I've not even looked into it, that it might be, and their legitimacy or any of the other stuff. But I'm just talking about the idea on its face and how it represents a potential paradigm shift. You know, we're seeing gamers becoming influencers, now wanting to own esports organizations. Why couldn't a streamer, a big streamer that's made millions, rise up, create their own streaming platform, one that makes a mockery of existing ones and offers a better deal for smaller content creators? Why couldn't that happen? You know, it's entirely possible. I've got to say right now, there's a broader problem. I just don't think there's a streaming platform for adults right now. You know how many times I have to fucking, like, I want to tell a joke and I can't. I want to talk about a topic and I can't. I want to show a news story and I can't. I bring up a post like this and I'm terrified that this scrolling ad down in the bottom is going to be a woman in a bra and someone's going to deem it inappropriate. Now, I've got my account set to fucking 18 plus. I have got, get this, I recently went up because I've been talking to new sponsors. I had to get all my demographics out, right? And I have more followers and more viewers in my audience that are over 65 than I do that are under 18. Right? So it couldn't get more adult than that. And by the way, for the type of sponsors I'm talking to, that's a really good thing. Because I'm talking to gambling sponsors, you know? I'm talking to betting sponsors. I'm talking to alcohol companies, you know what I mean? Because that's what, you know, that's who I am. So the annoyance I have is that I should be able to just talk about adult stuff to my adult audience, like adults, on an adult platform with an adult setting. But, you know, if I accidentally bring up a girl in a bikini and it's deemed to be too revealing by a member of Twitch staff that gets flagged by some nuisance flagger, right, then I just get banned. I can't stream. I lose one of my avenues through which to talk to my audience. Why? I've done nothing wrong. I could literally turn on one of the top streams now, and it's going to be it's going to be a same girl in a same bikini in a hot tub, you know, taking money to do yoga on a beach ball, right? It makes no sense to me. On YouTube, what's happened with YouTube now, right? Listen, I'm British. The word cunt is second nature to us. You know, you wouldn't tell an Aussie, you wouldn't tell an Irishman, you wouldn't tell a Welshman, you wouldn't tell a Scotsman, you wouldn't tell an Englishman, you can't say cunt. It makes no sense. I don't give a fuck about your American sensibilities. It's our word. Historically, it's our word. It's there. It's in Chaucer. How many times? It's in the Miller's Tale. Americans keep trying to make it a slur. Now, on YouTube, get this. They tell you the rule is don't swear in the first 15 seconds. Now, even all Richie Sailor talk can manage that, right? I know it's crazy to fucking think, but I can't. But they now do it. If their algorithmoid, that they've got a new algorithmoid, and this is how you know about it, because they went through and they demonetized loads of old videos, like Boogie2988, right? They demonetized his All Francis videos where he goes like, fuck you, and flips over the table. Remember when he used to be fun? They've demonetized all of those videos. And my videos, it's just a fucking lottery whether it picks up the fuck. Because I have such a strong accent, I might get away with a fuck every now and then. But what happens is, because I know many of you won't have done this, but the video goes up, you get demonetized immediately because I'm in the naughty corner. You know, I talk about politics, I talk about video games, I talk about sports. I'm not opening like Lego boxes for kids. You know, I'm not posting weird, fucked up, creepy Spider-Man and Elsa videos. So I can't make money on YouTube, right? I'm not doing a cookery show. You know, not that kind of cookery. You know, I'm talking about making food. I can't make money on YouTube anyway. Right, no one gives, you know, fuck you. But I can make a pittance on YouTube, right? But now what they've done is I put the video up, I appeal, and then the algorithmoid fucking gets in there, and the algorithmoid looks at all of the fucking thing, you know, basically it reads your audio, it translates the audio like one of them like text-to-speech things, and it checks if you've said fuck, right? And then what it does is it says, no, you can't make money on this video. And they deliberately take a week to do it, which is why loads of my content drags and it's behind. And then they say view feedback and they give you a timestamp. And my videos get demonetized on YouTube because I said fuck once in a 40-minute video. So don't tell me it's an adult platform. We don't have an adult platform for content. You know, I'm bewildered because it's like, I look over at like what Destiny's content's doing, you know, and the orbit he's in. It must be all donations. I don't know how much money he actually makes off the YouTube vids or whether or not they actually do go through and digitally scrub everything, which I wouldn't even inflict that on Griff. I wouldn't inflict that on my video editor, right? You know, but like, it's like, you know, it was like when I was talking to fucking Chud Logic the other day and he was going, yeah, you know, I'm off. I've got to do a live debate about, you know, someone's talking about, you know, it's okay to fuck dogs. And I'm going, what? What are you doing? Like, how's anyone making any money on any of this shit? Like, what, you know, what is happening? Like, and you know, meanwhile, I say fuck once in a video about football, and that's that. It's ridiculous. And I don't want to, there's a principle at stake. So even if I could have Griff scrub out all of the fucks and the shits and the pisses and the cunts and all any other words they deem inappropriate, right? Like, why am I being penalised for talking like an adult? By the way, shout out to the one guy who's down in chat who's tunneled in on this rant, even though this is about an esports paradigm shift, essentially. And it's going to go, monsieur, actually, adults don't swear, and it's a sign of low IQ and low vocabulary. Shut the fuck up and get back to your day job, dickhead. So, anyway, yeah, I don't think there's an adult streaming platform anywhere, you know what I mean? And it pisses me off. Because there needs to be one. I'm an adult. I want to talk about adult things in an adult way. So we'll wait and see. Maybe I should sign up with Last Free Nation after all. There was another thing, actually, because similarly, it's kind of, this is like, again, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of themes and topics, but they're all sort of linked. My boy War Owl, and he made a video called How to Be a Successful Twitch Streamer. And it's 9 minutes long. I'll just play a little bit at the start so you get the gist of it.
You can go to YouTube to watch original content, or you can go to Twitch to watch people watch YouTube's original content. Greetings, hi, the War Owl greets you. When you ask a kid what he wants to be...
I like that passive-aggressive swipe because I gotta say, like, I always find it outrageous that Twitch streamers will die on the hill of it's okay for us to watch your YouTube videos. I'm aware now of the hypocrisy, but I'm not going to watch it all, and I'm actually going to add some sort of commentary. And I have just done 40 minutes talking about the topic, and I'm using this to be illustrative of this topic, right? So, don't, wait, he's doing the thing. Yeah, it totally got me, chat, totally nailed me. I'm talking about fucking, I'm talking about Hassan watching like a fucking 90-minute long video essay while he eats ramen, right, and occasionally going, huh! Sometimes not even being in the chair at all. Then some video editor who runs a YouTube channel called Hassan Clips takes that original YouTube video of Hassan watching it, uploads it on YouTube, and takes the original creator out of the thumbnail and replaces it with Hassan to make money off that, which YouTube don't shut down. Anyway, let's just watch a little bit of this.
When he grows up, he doesn't say doctor or engineer or astronaut. No, he says, I want to be a Twitch streamer.
Yes, they do.
Oh, we're doomed. It's because kids want to be effortlessly rich and famous while playing video games all day. Duh. I've been streaming on Twitch since it was called Justin.tv. I've seen everything. I've seen the changing of eras, the rise and fall of empires, and I've also seen the future. And no matter how many possibilities I look at, I just don't see Twitch there. Twitch owns live streaming on the internet. The reason you go to Twitch is because that's where the people are. Microsoft made a run at Twitch with Mixer. Didn't go so well. Maybe spending $100 million to get the big boys to switch over wasn't a very good investment. Realistically, you have to make a service that people want to voluntarily use, that people will voluntarily move over to. What incentive do I, as a middle-class creator, have to move over? What do I get out of it? The only reason Shroud Ninja went over there is because you paid him a bunch of money. Doesn't exactly inspire me with confidence. And once you pay them all that money, hey, they got their payday. What incentive do they have to promote your brand and to build your brand? It's just not a good business model. Maybe they could have used that $100 million to create an ecosystem that people actually want to use to distinguish itself from Twitch enough. I could have ran that company better with 3 hipsters and a Starbucks. So that was the end of the company.
So, that's War Owl. Again, you can see the video there. It's called How to Be a Successful Twitch Streamer. The channel is The War Owl. You can go and subscribe to that. There's a link in the chat right now. But saying exactly what Train is saying, and what we all know instinctively. Think about how successful War Owl is as a YouTuber, how long he's been streaming. And here he is making a video where he talks about how, like, the only way to win on Twitch is to be sat there for hours and hours and hours, like get up, set times, it's like a cubicle job at that point. Get up, set times, you've got to get there first, get there ahead of all the other streamers that are in your field, hope you get to the front page, maybe you get some discoverability, sit there, maybe hope as well with that discoverability, maybe you get a wicked host from some sort of celebrity and people sign them, and you get some subs, you get some primes, and maybe you get a big fat donation because someone really likes it, and you gain some followers, and maybe you can snowball it into a career, maybe you can keep snowballing upwards, but in general, you're not going to be that guy. You're going to be the very average, middle-of-the-road streamer that has a community that you laboriously build up that never gets to the level of the guys he's talking about. And this is War Owl. This is a guy with a fucking 1.4 million subscriber YouTube channel, and he's still doing the live streams on Twitch, and he was still playing CS. And, I've got to be honest, I've wandered onto his streams a few times, And I totally get what he's saying. You know, think about how, like, non-competitive it should be to be a top Counter-Strike streamer. The players never do it because they're either always practicing or they're putting their feet up or they're at an event, right? You know, the top influencers only play the current games. Like, we're all having that big argument right now about, is it evil if I play the Hogwarts game and all that, right? They'll always play what's current because they want, if you're a, what they call a variety streamer, you have to play what's popular at any given moment in time because the product is you playing the game, not you having fun. And loads of variety streamers that, like, get 20,000 viewers, let's say, when there's a popular game being played, but they don't like playing that game, so they play the game they like. But unfortunately, the game they like is Minesweeper, and then their viewership goes down to 5,000, and they sit there with a tear in their eye going, well, you know, I just want to play what I like, and it's really mentally destroying to have to play games I don't enjoy all the time. Yeah, that's the hell you create when you're a fucking Twitch streamer. It's an absolute fucking nightmare. So for someone who is already successful as an influencer, as a gaming influencer in their own right, to be saying all of the things trainers saying, you know, it's like the timing is like just too perfect. And so anyway, you should go watch that video. It's actually a really good rant. A bit more mature, I should say, you know, sort of really lifting the veil on it. And there's a nice little moment as well where he pulls out, like, all of the signatures of, like, his original 50 followers or something, like all the original people that helped him build his Twitch channel. It's really cool, actually. So, yeah, so you've got that going on. So we need to do that. And, yeah, why can't we build something better than Twitch and YouTube? Why do we have to be beholden to them? There's a groundswell of resentment right now. In terms of how the traditional models work. And we're getting to the stage for the first time where people who have been streamers for 10 years are getting to the next stage in their career. People who have been involved in esports for 10 years are getting to the next stage of their career. And they want to see if they can shape something better than what we've got. And so it's going to be a very interesting time because we all know the model we have is broken across esports, across streaming. And maybe there are some people that are going to emerge from this group that are going to be able to change it and build something better in its place. So, food for thought.